You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
Welcome to the National Medal for Science and Technology and Innovation Awards ceremony for 2018. It's a biennial event that seeks to stimulate, sensitize, and encourage stakeholders to use science and technology in their endeavors. And so tonight we're recognizing these innovators for their great achievements in this industry. I'm Adrian Atkinson, and this is Business Access TV. How important is the SRC as the driving force for technology and science and innovation for Jamaica?
Well, tonight is a clear example of our role in terms of driving national development through innovation and using science and technology. The solutions for our society, solutions to the problems we face today, and even the problems we'll face later on in life, will really come from the knowledge that our researchers have been able to unearth and how that knowledge is applied. And the application of knowledge is what leads to the technologies which drive the innovation system in every single country. So we have seen quite a bit of examples globally. You have the Singapore example. So China is emerging in terms of their global competitiveness. And this is really based on their ability to utilize that scientific knowledge. So the SRC in Jamaica is pretty much the engine of growth, driving innovation, driving economic development through the use of science and technology. So we play a major role, and in another 2 years we'll be celebrating our 60th year of establishment. So we are 58 years this year. So we've been transforming Jamaica and improving our operations for over 58 years, and we intend to continue to move more expeditiously because we can't afford to wait too long to become competitive. So we're really driving that force. And tonight's a clear example in celebrating and recognizing excellence in innovation, which drives economic development.
So many different nominees here this evening. So how were you able to know, lower the list of individuals? What was the selection process like?
It wasn't easy. We had over 84 applicants to the 8 categories, and we had a team of independent judges who are experts in the different areas. The chief judge being Professor Kawa, the immediate past vice principal of University of West Indies. So he anchored most of the activities, coordinating with the chief judges and the sectional judges. So in total, we had over 30 judges doing evaluations and assessment. And at the end of the day, the judges come up with the scores, and those scores are tallied to determine who has the most impactful innovation in a respective category, or even innovation that can have the greatest economic importance. So sometimes not just a matter of what is the most innovative, but what can be the most impactful in driving socio-economic development in the country. Innovations is pretty much what drives the economy and drives society. And when we look at even the actual process we're going through now with the interview and the capturing the images, as well as the voice and so forth in TV, radio, so many different aspects in terms of media, take for example, these are all outcomes of innovation. And these are the innovations that we use to improve the quality of our lives. And we use innovations as well to improve our competitiveness in different industries. As it relates to if we are there as yet in terms of where we want to be as a country, I would say no. But we have clear plans, we have clear targets to really get to that level. Our Global Innovation Index, for example, which is a measure of how countries are competing globally in terms of what we export through our innovations, is increasing somewhat. And I think quite a bit of the activities we're doing now as a country, especially in nutraceuticals, is really pushing us up significantly along that level. But we're getting there, and the new science, technology and innovation policy captures innovation as a part of economic growth as well as the overall growth of the country.
And we've recognized that a lot of people getting involved in the nutraceutical market.
There are a number of persons getting involved in the nutraceuticals market because there's a global shift to foods that heal and beverages that heal. Because we are more and more persons are losing confidence in the traditional or the Western pharmaceuticals nutraceuticals and going back to the roots of utilizing traditional medicines as well as dietary supplements and so forth. So the nutraceutical industry is growing significantly, but equally, another industry that's growing rapidly is the cosmeceutical industry, because persons want to look much younger, they want to maintain the cellular integrity and all those stuff. So we are positioning ourselves to play a major role in nutraceutical thrust, especially based on the fact that we have a large number of plants with proven medical benefits. We intend to exploit those fully.
And we have the opportunity to speak with Joy Spence, Master Blender, right here on Business Access TV. Good evening, Joy, and welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you're a nominee for innovation this evening. Tell us about how you feel about being nominated.
Actually, it's a very humbling feeling. I never thought in my wildest dream that I would be here tonight as one of the nominees. And I've always had the greatest respect for other persons who have received this award.
Tell us about your innovation.
Well, I've created many blends for Appleton Estate. Along with that, I've developed several new processes to improve production and efficiencies at JRA Nebula Limited.
And what kind of message would you give to those who are aspiring to become master blenders like yourself?
My advice to anyone who wants to become a master blender is to focus on your dream, be passionate about what you're doing, be excellent in chemistry, have good sensory skills, and of course, have great knowledge of the rum manufacturing process, and the world is yours.
How important is innovation to the development of this great enterprise called Jamaica?
Innovation is very important for moving Jamaica forward, and I'm really happy to see that a lot of young entrepreneurs are actually becoming much more innovative. So you're seeing young millennials, taking a step into innovation and creating their own businesses, which is very good for Jamaica.
Yes. I mean, do you think that we're on a path of growth and development with regards to innovation and science and technology?
Yes, I think more and more focus is being made on science and technology and how we can use that to move the country forward, and I'm proud to be a part of that process.
You're watching Business Access TV. There's so much more to come. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back after these messages. And we have another nominee, Nkrumah Fung. Welcome to Business Access TV. I'm so curious to know about your nomination. Tell us about that.
Well, I've been nominated for the Environmental Sustainability Award. Basically, I'm a representative from Consolidated Engineering Solutions. I'm the founder. Basically, I came up with this unique environment project. Basically, it's an exhaust scrubber that goes on the tailpipe that removes exhaust gases from your vehicle. So as the vehicle burns these gases, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and a whole range of exhaust components, this absorber basically reacts them one by one, reducing the concentration and then releasing a much smaller amount into the environment. Right? So it's a device that goes at the back of your vehicle. It is mounted at the rear end bumper, and there's a tube that goes directly to your tailpipe, and the gases go through that tube and flows into the device, and the device allows the gas to move back and forth to different chambers that react individual gases, and then it exits the device at a lower concentration.
What's the reception like for this kind of innovation?
It is overwhelming. That's all I can say. People really know what the problem is. Climate change is a big deal nowadays, and the world needs projects like this, and everybody knows it. I was overwhelmed by the amount of people that is now aware of the real issues, right? That there's over 1 billion cars on Earth, each of them emitting these gases, filling up the atmosphere, and any device that can reduce the concentration of these gases is a good thing, and they know.
And this is the future of Jamaica.
Yes, this is the future of Jamaica, and I really want to bring it to the manufacturing level and have it exclusively manufactured in Jamaica, right, and distribute it to the world.
What stage are you now?
I would say I'm at the beta testing phase where I make prototypes, give to people to test. They give me back feedback, I give them back a prototype they test. So it's really a 3-year journey, and I've gone the first year. So in the next 2 years, I'm hoping to have a final consumer-based prototype ready to hit the market.
Luke Buchanan, welcome to Business Access TV and thank you for talking to us. You've been nominated, so tell us about what your nomination is.
Okay, we at the Mona Geoinformatics Institute at the University of the West Indies, we have been nominated for our API, the JamNav API, and it's really a spatial repository of datasets across Jamaica. So if you want to go somewhere, we can tell you how to get there. Over the last 15 years, we have developed a huge repository of spatial data. Spatial meaning places that you can go. And software developers have been asking, how can we get this data? So we went ahead and developed this API. And an API is an application programming interface, so it's kind of a key to give software developers access to your database.
What kind of work did you put into developing this, what is called an app?
Yes, well, the API it has several different sections. You have the data collection, which is driving around Jamaica and collecting accurate GPS data using GPS units. And then there is data processing when you go back to the office, and there is data quality checks, and then you will pass that information onto the software development team that will actually process this information to make it into the API. So other software developers can use it to develop apps. So let me give you a quick example. Let's say you're developing an app to find restaurants across Jamaica. You as a software developer would be able to develop this app, but then you may not have the resources to drive around Jamaica to collect all these restaurants. So that is where we come in. So if you're interested in developing an app to give people access to Chinese restaurants, you can just plug into our database to pull Chinese restaurants or fast foods. If you're developing an app for beaches, then you can just pull from our database beaches, and it is updated on a daily basis.
So is it just limited to Jamaica? What if I decided that I wanted to go to Miami for the weekend and I want to find some fancy restaurants or a nice beach to go and relax and unwind? Is that, does that give me access to finding those locations?
Well, the framework that we use is an international platform, but right now we are focusing on Jamaica. So we are specialists in Jamaica. It's a product for Jamaica developed by Jamaicans, so that's what we're focusing right now. But if a client has data for overseas and they want to put it in the API, then that's something that we can facilitate. But right now we're focusing on Jamaican data.
What was the feeling like when you heard that you were nominated for this award?
We were very excited. The JamNav product is actually a GPS navigation system for Jamaica, and that is over 10 years old. But a lot of people were complaining that they didn't have access to the database. And the software development is driving the world right now. And we wanted to give them access to the database. And the database is JamNav, so we developed the JamNav API.
For those who are watching, the younger people who have this kind of flair for what you're doing, technology and science and all of that, what kind of advice would you give to the younger folk?
I would tell them to focus, to read. There's a lot of information on the internet, not just music videos, but there's a lot of information on the internet you can actually teach yourself. And then when you move on to university, then you actually expand your knowledge a bit more.
What's next for you?
We'll continue to build the API. We want to get noticed by international companies, people like Google and all these companies, say that we are doing well. And we want to continue to fly the flag of the University of the West Indies very high.
All right, so we have the gentleman who goes by the name Chris Derring, CEO for Ready TV. Good evening, welcome to Business Access TV.
Good evening.
Oh, you're a nominee this evening. Tell us about the nomination.
Well, we're very proud to be shortlisted for a nomination. in the technology category. Ready TV, really is something that has combined the ubiquitous nature of digital broadcasts with the integration with SMS text messaging to create a really unique platform that we think Jamaicans have really gravitated towards and can really do a lot for Jamaicans.
What has been the reception towards Ready TV from the wider society?
Oh, it's been tremendous. I mean, we actually ran out of set-top boxes a few months ago, and we've been dying to get some more back into the market, so some are coming very shortly. But people have gravitated towards it because it falls into two categories. There are a host of Jamaicans who have been left behind in the digital divide, and we've been able to find a way to give them access to digital content in ways that they can afford. And then there are other people that are, not quite satisfied with the cost that they have to pay for existing digital content. So we've been able to save them money. So I think those two markets have found, we've certainly found some traction, and we hope to continue to do that, particularly in the market that really have not had the opportunity of digital content. We feel very proud to be bringing this type of innovation to rural communities, deep inner city communities, people who really need that type of digital content, digital education. And if you think about the applications in distance learning, in e-commerce and so on, and digital commerce, we're very, very excited about what the platform, which in and of itself is an innovation, can lead to future innovations.
But when one thinks of the name Chris Derring, we think about finance. I do. I mean, Chris Derring, Bunting and Golding, when you think about the financial aspect of things, how did you get to the place where you thought of this kind of innovation, Ready TV?
Well, I can't take credit for that. I've been very good in my entire career of finding very bright people to hang on to their coattails. Yes. With Derring, Bunting and Golding, obviously it was Mr. Bunting and Mr. Golding, and I hung on to their coattails. With Ready TV, there's my business partner, David Casanova, is one of the finest technological minds that I've ever encountered. And so I suppose I helped to energize and free that capacity and bring the sort of, expertise, professionalism, to sort of bring that sort of expertise and capacity to the market in ways that people can appreciate. So I'm very fortunate to have had those associations that I've been able to ride on their coattails.
What's next?
Well, I'm always reinventing myself. So I'm in this reincarnation at the moment. I'm in this reincarnation for a while until I see it through to a success. There's no guarantees of success in life, but one thing for sure, I'll always give it my best.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for talking to us. All the very best, and congratulations on the nomination. Thank you so much. Chris Derring, CEO, Ready TV. Listen, so much more to come right here on Business Access TV. This is just a tip of the iceberg. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. Let's now join our presenter on stage.
We are here this evening to recognize individuals who showcase the relevance of science and technology in our daily lives. We're also here tonight to inspire others to follow that path of inquiry and innovation. It gives me great pleasure to open this ceremony, which celebrates the contributions of stellar individuals, Jamaicans that have dedicated their lives to work in the various fields of science and technology, reflecting meaningful socio-economic impact on Jamaica's development. Among the earliest recipients of the National Medal for Science and Technology were Dr. Thomas Philip Leckie, OMOBE. He received that posthumously in 2003. Dr. Cecil Delphine Williams in 2003 as well. Professor Edward Robinson in 2006, and Professor Errol Morrison in 2016. The work and contribution of these scientists have had ripple effects across different disciplines and have left a lasting tradition of excellence with regards to the applicability and relevance of science and technology and innovation to our development and prosperity. The role of science and technology and innovation in national development is well known and demonstrated across the world. Indeed, those countries that today are considered first world have, without exception, invested heavily in their science and technology capacities. I am extremely happy to witness the push for increased awareness and participation in science and technology and innovation across the length and breadth of the country. It is one of the ways in which we can find the hotspots of creativity and nurture them into enterprises that will be successful nationally and globally, building on the strength of brand Jamaica. We, the people of Jamaica and its government, acknowledge your efforts and dedication with which you have moved this country closer to achieving its vision of becoming fully technologically enabled. There is a very strong connection between technological awareness and innovative practices and the achievement of our overall vision for Jamaica, to be the place of choice to live, raise families, do business, and of course, I've always added, retire in paradise. I wish to affirm this evening that I fully endorse and give my unwavering support to this endeavor. I am particularly satisfied when I see innovations that have impacted on local problem solving. For this reason, I commit to facilitating the growth and expansion of the technological sector. Developments in science and technology are fundamentally altering the way people live, connect, communicate, and transact, with profound effects on economic development. Tonight's awardees have demonstrated how to grasp and apply insights from science and technology and use them creatively. We are truly proud of their accomplishments, which represent an accomplishment for Jamaica. The benefits are certain to flow from the technological revolution in an increasingly connected and knowledge-intensive world. We must seize the opportunity this presents. One of the towering figures in our country's history of social and governmental innovation is here with us tonight. And without any further introduction, I invite him to come forward and receive this token of our country's appreciation for those landmark undertakings which have so clearly changed the course of our country and set us on a path of sustainable development. I speak of no other than the most honorable Edward Philip George Siaga. Please join us.
I've been flustered by this invitation for some time because I couldn't figure out how come. I traced it back in my life to a time when I had a sore foot. And that sore foot caused me to lie on my back for 3 weeks while I painted my toes in a case of athlete's foot with kerosene oil. That was the cure for that at that time. But having had 3 weeks of my life to do nothing but read a chemistry book, I really read a lot, learned a lot, and from there on I went on to come first in the island in chemistry. Well, I should have stuck with it. It's become so interesting. But so is science overall. And the interest is what drives you. Today, we in this country have many very wonderful achievers in science. And I know that the Prime Minister at some point in time is going to look forward to honoring them in a way that will never be forgotten. I've heard of some of them, but I can't believe how good they are. So like everything else we do have our experts in this little field. Thank you very much. This 3D imagery, I saw it at work a couple of years ago, and it's really magnificent. You can build a car with it. I mean that. I'm not just saying it. So I'm glad to see you all here today, and thank you very much for honoring me.
And on that note, we take a quick break. Stay with us for more from the National Medal for Science and Technology and Innovation Award Ceremony for 2018. Welcome back to Business Access TV's coverage of the National Medal for Science and Technology and Innovation Award Ceremony for 2018.
In terms of the science landscape in our region, Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago continue to be major producers of scientific knowledge from the region, and both have significant presence on the global scene. And we are also pleased to note that over the last 2 years or so, some of the discoveries that have originated from Jamaica have been published in the best of the very best international journals, and the work does have some serious local and international implications, and we are very pleased about that presence on the international scene. And when you look at the source, of intellectual output, we are very pleased to see that not only Jamaica and Trinidad and perhaps Barbados, which are in the forefront, but many countries in the region are coming up. And this is perhaps because we have, many of these countries have recognized the importance of tertiary education, and they want a university in their yard, etc., etc. And most of them have institutions like those. And they're bent very strongly on producing intellectual output. You look at Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, Bahamas, Dominica, and others, they're really rising extremely fast in terms of their output on the international scene. And so that is the development that is vital for us to recognize. And in Jamaica as well, we do have a number of tertiary institutions that are coming up. The question is, how do we now mobilize this emerging human resource and focus it on national problems and produce the results that could move our economy and our social development forward?
This year's recipient of the Young Scientist Award goes to Dr. Shade Renee Foster.
Let's talk a little bit about your journey at the Scientific Research Council, what it is that you do there, and how did you get to this place?
Well, currently I am looking at some underutilized plants that are being used by indigenous community members of a compound to look at their medicinal properties and explore their potential for nutraceutical development or product development.
So this was your brainchild, or was it part of the work that you do at the Scientific Research Council?
Okay, so the award was really for the work that I've done at the University of West Indies, where I looked at the effects of phytic acid and inositol as a combination in the treatment of type 2 diabetes. And from that, we want to develop products. Two products we now have in mind is a nutraceutical capsule as well as a meal replacement beverage that could assist with not only diabetes but regulate appetite, assist with high lipid levels, high cholesterol, high triglyceride level, and appetite. I mentioned appetite before, and body weight. Yeah.
How does it feel to actually walk away with this particular honor, this recognition, this award?
I'm extremely elated, and I feel honored to have received such an award.
What is the kind of motivation that this has given you?
It shows that there is reward in doing sciences, and it's more of an encouragement to go forward with it, especially with the scene that most undergrad, postgraduate students see in Jamaica in terms of job opportunities and so forth, and just being recognized for the work that you've done.
Absolutely. Any parting words you'd like to share with those high school students, the university students who are maybe willing to walk in your footsteps, or even, working or looking at a career in as a scientist?
So I'm also involved in academia. I teach as well, and I'm always encouraging my students to believe in themselves, because that's where it starts. It starts from just believing yourself, and I realize that a lot of students, they don't. So I always give them a little synopsis of my life and how I got here, and just encourage them to let them know I didn't come from a rich family, I didn't come from privilege. I just believed in myself and worked really hard towards what I want to accomplish.
Thank you so much, Dr. Foster, for speaking to us, and congratulations once again, and all the very best in everything that you choose to do.
Yes, thank you.
Dr. Shade Foster, recipient of the Young Scientist Award right here at the National Medal for Science and Technology and Innovation Awards for 2018.
It's time to present the awards to the winners in each category of the National Innovation Competition. In our first category of Health and Safety. And the winner in this category is Mr. Aldane Reed for the First Responders Technology Limited. In the category of Energy. And the winner is Mr. Mark Bennett, Smart Variable Power Factor, in the category of Environmental Sustainability. And the winner in this category is Kelly Silvera for AppCycle Jamaica mobile app. Congratulations, Ms. Silveran, and thank you.
This is Business Access TV. There's so much more to come. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
In the category of Engineering and Manufacturing, the winner is Lyndon Faulkner for Falcon B4. In the category of Entertainment Products, the winner in this category is Mr. Chris Daring for Ready TV. In the category of Agriculture, Food and Agro-Processing, and the winner in this category is Mr. Paul Jackson for a customized food and agro-processing machine. Well, we're down to the last two categories. In the category of Education and Popularization, Mr. Kadeem Petgrave for the Adventures mobile app. And last but by no means least, in the category of Youth, and the winner is Jordan Freeman for Healthy Sugar. All our category winners and only category winners were eligible for consideration for the 2018 National Innovator Award of the Year. And now for the award of the 2018 National Innovator of the Year. Who or what will it be? The winner of the coveted award is Mr. Chris Daring, Ready TV.
Well, I didn't think we'd be winning this category since nobody told me about a speech. But I would like to thank everybody, particularly at Ready TV, all the hardworking colleagues who, put this project together. And of course, my partner, David Casanova, who's really the technological brain behind the whole thing that I'm taking credit for, which I'm very good at. I'd also like to thank the SRC Scientific Research Council, everybody who gave us the opportunity. Thank the customers in Jamaica, all across Jamaica, rural Jamaica in particular, who's given us a chance to test our product. And, we've made it a mission to try and bridge the digital divide in this country. I think there are people like myself and everybody probably in this room has had the opportunity of accessing the digital world, but the vast majority of this country have not. And those are the people that we're trying to serve. Those are the people that need it the most. Those are the people that are going to make this country, the land we love, the better place to live that we all want to be a part of. So thank you very much to everybody, and we look forward to serving you in the future.
They say that lightning doesn't strike the same place twice, but it's my pleasure to talk with Chris Daring again. Congratulations on both awards.
We're very, very proud. As I said, it's a team event. It's a team award. I want to represent a group of bright, young, energetic Jamaicans who are part of the Ready TV team. Obviously, my business partner and co-CEO, David Casanova, was a huge part of it. So we're just very, very proud.
How does that fuel the energy going forward with Ready TV?
Well, with any startup, you face enormous challenges. Something like this gives us energy, gives us, belief that we're on the right track. It's always a 2 step forwards, 1.5 steps backwards, in an entrepreneurial startup. And so there's a lot of hard work, and when you get recognized like this, you realize that other people that are recognizing that what you have done or what you are creating is something special, and so that gives you energy. And, Peter Drucker always says, the hardest thing for a CEO is to manage his own energy and the energy of the people around him. And I think this will give that, that sort of energy boost that we do need.
Anything new that we can expect as a viewing public that is coming from Ready TV in the future?
Well, look, we've set out on a mission to bridge the digital divide for the vast majority of Jamaicans who have been left behind. And so we're coming with new products in 2019. We're coming with a whole host of things. Because once this digital network is fully up across the island, people will just begin to see the length and breadth and power that it can bring. So we're really excited about that.
One last question. I want you to just explain to us how important innovation really is, especially at this point in time and where Jamaica is trying to position itself.
It's not just innovation generally. With Jamaicans, I was saying that I preach to my team, turn your hand, make fashion. We do not have the resources of the developed world. And so we've had to innovate by turning our hand and make fashion. And that is so important. So indigenous innovation is key because we do things with what we have. And that allows us to do things in an affordable fashion and in a fashion that culturally fits our nation. So but we consider Ready TV that kind of product. Indigenous, it's innovative, but it also takes into consideration the cultural norms that are in Jamaica. And with that, we certainly believe that we certainly can play an important role in this country.
Thank you so much for talking to us. Wish you all the very best. Thank you. We take our final break, but don't go anywhere. We have much more to come right after these messages. Thank you for staying with us, and if you're just tuning in, this is the National Medal for Science and Technology and Innovation Awards. Now for more highlights.
I now invite our Prime Minister to join us on stage. We are asking you to make some presentations of tokens, sir, in recognition of the 2018 nominees for the National Medal for Science and Technology. Dr. Conrad Douglas. Dr. Joy Spence. Dr. Lawrence Williams. It is quite a significant achievement to be recognized for this prestigious national award and considered by and among your peers as notable for national recognition. Let's just put a big, big, big round of applause for them. The National Commission on Science and Technology, on behalf of the government and people of Jamaica, is pleased to confer on Dr. Joy Spence the distinguished recognition and award of the National Medal for Science and Technology. Dr. Joy Spence.
This is truly a humbling experience. I just never in my wildest dreams thought that I would be standing here, especially with those, as we say in Jamaica, big nominees that I'm wrapped up with. I think I'm one of the fortunate few who was able to use science and technology to create spirit in the world. We have been able at Reneview to use cutting-edge technology along with exciting innovation to create some of the finest brands in the world. I will continue to spread the joy of rum globally, no pun intended, by extension, promoting brand Jamaica. I'd like to thank the judges who selected me, those who made recommendations, Dr. Novlet McKnight, who has been like a thorn in my side, plodding me along, my Reneview family, who have been my rock, and of course, last but not least, my family, who have been my biggest cheerleaders. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the evening.
It's always a pleasure to talk with this lovely lady, Marjorie Newland, Project Manager for YEDI. Talk to us about your involvement in this event.
Okay. Well, the YEDI project was conceptualized somewhere about 2013, and one of the key areas of involvement of the project and the funding from the World Bank was in support of science, innovation, and technology. So as a consequence of having had discussions with the then Ministry of Science, Technology, Energy and Mining, it was MSTEM at the time, a number of activities were built into the project in support of STI and the support of the National Innovation Awards, as well as the support for the National Science Fair, which is for the young innovators, and thirdly, the support for the development of the science, technology and innovation policy. The three areas that are being supported from the YEDI project through the World Bank loan.
Which simply means that you have been doing every kind of partnership that you can with the Scientific Research Council.
Yes, we've been partnering with the Scientific Research Council and the NCST on these, particularly on the two competitions, the Young Scientist and the National Innovation Awards, yes.
What are your feedback or what is your impression of this kind of event, recognizing young scientists, those who have made their mark in science and technology and innovation?
Well, I feel very envious actually, because science is actually my background, not project management. I am originally and at heart a science teacher. Yes. So I was very excited to be involved, not only with the youngsters for the Youth Innovation Awards, but also with this, which recognizes more mature scientists in their research efforts, and the contribution towards national development, which is very important, particularly now.
Yes. What are your impressions with regards to the nominees this year and the actual winners?
Wow. Well, I have to say that I was blown away when I looked at some of the work that has been done. I did not have access to any of that information prior to today. So I was, for the first time, seeing the caliber of the entrants for the competition, and I was really and truly very, very impressed. As far as the winners of the competition are concerned, again, several of the finalists are people of my era, who I know very well, so I'm also very pleased about that. And the winner, Joy Spence, was actually my batchmate at university, so I know Joy very well. And yes, so it's a very, very special moment for me, but also for the project and for the OPM.
So I have the opportunity to talk with Lily Claire Bellamy, who's the Executive Director of the Jamaica Intellectual Property Office, JIPO. Welcome. You're one of the sponsors for this award ceremony this evening. Tell us about your involvement.
Okay, the Jamaica Intellectual Property Office is responsible, among other things, for the registration of intellectual property rights. The SRC, as you know, is having an innovation award. So basically, when you come up with an invention, the first thing you should do is to come to JIPO to seek to protect that invention. In fact, before you start to work on an invention or work on an idea which you hope can be patented, you should come to JIPO to do a search to see whether what you're hoping to come up with hasn't already been invented. We work closely with the Scientific Research Council and with other agencies of the government of Jamaica and also with the private sector, because intellectual property rights protection is key. Business Access TV, for example, that's your trademark. Persons know you by that. So it's important for you also to protect your trademark, to prevent others from using that trademark without your permission.
So tell me about the other protections that innovators will get by simply registering a trademark or an intellectual property, if you put it that way.
All right, so since we're focusing on innovators, what they would do would be coming up with a solution to an existing problem. So what we encourage any potential innovator or inventor to do is to come to the Jamaica Intellectual Property Office, or you can call us if you can't actually come to the office, and we'll give you guidance on how to search to see whether the solution that you want to work on is new and novel, or if it's already there and if you can build on that existing invention. And then if it is something that's new and novel and satisfies the criteria, then you have the possibility of making an application for a patent. That would give you the exclusive right to use that intellectual property right, because what an intellectual property right does is give you the exclusive right to exploit what you have created or invented.
So it's a very easy process, but how long does it take?
Well, it depends on which of the intellectual property rights that you're using. But the important thing which I want persons to know is once you make the application, your protection starts to run. So even if it takes months or years in some instances to get the actual right, the fact is your protection starts to run once you make the application. So it's important for you to come in and take that first step.
How long is the protection?
The protection, it depends on the right. So for example, in the international circles, you get a patent for 20 years. In Jamaica, we're in the process of amending our law. So right now as it stands, you get protection for 14 years with a possibility of an extension for 7 more years. For a trademark, you get a protection for 10 years and it is renewable continuously. And for copyright protection, depending on which right it is, it lasts for your life and then for a number of years after. But I'd encourage persons to visit us at JIPO, or you can visit our website, jipo.gov.jm, double before. And if you Google JIPO, we'll come up. And we're very open and very friendly. I'd encourage persons to come to our office and we'll give them all the information they need.
We've come to the end of our coverage of the National Medal for Science and Technology and Innovation Awards for 2018. We'd like to say congratulations to all the recipients this evening and commend the Scientific Research Council for the work it continues to do. I'm Adrian Atkinson and this is Business Access TV, serious about business.